And we have some really fun guests today. These folks are students from where we're recording from right now, which is pretty cool. We're not usually recording from the McKinney Center. So we're going to have everybody introduce themselves, starting here and moving around the room. James, you're up.
Okay. Question. Why do you want to ask me?
Pardon?
What do you want to ask me?
I want you to tell us who are you and what year did you graduate?
Now, that part I don't remember because age has got that part.
Okay.
But my name is James Scott, and of course, I did, let's see, I started school here in 41 when the school, so that's the first year the school was built. So, and I think family started in the 5th 5-year-old instead of 6.
Okay.
It's a 5-year-old thing. I didn't get to go to school down on the rocks, so I started school here.
Gotcha. We're going to talk about the rocks next. Okay, who's next? Sue?
I'm Sue Greenlee, Gillespie. I guess I started here in, 67? But I didn't finish here because I left in 64 and transferred to Jonesboro High School, which is now Jonesboro Middle School.
Okay. All right.
My name is Charles Pace. Chuck is my nickname. But I started here in 1954. I didn't graduate from here either because it was mandatory to go to Langston High School after the 8th grade. So I asked my daddy, could I go to Langston in the 7th grade so I'd have a head start on everybody, you know. So you had to pay a tuition if you went in the 7th grade because you still had a school here. But he had a sister who lived there, so we used her address so I didn't have to pay a tuition. So I went to Langston in the 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and in the 10th grade. And in the junior year, they integrated the schools, 1965. So Sue and myself, there was only 2 in my class that went to Jonesboro High School. That's me and Linda Balt. And we went in 65 and 66. And we were the first 2 black kids to graduate from Jonesboro High School in 1966. And then after that, I fooled around for 1 year. Then I went in the military in 1968. Now I'm going to pass it on to Nancy.
Thank you.
My name is Nancy Ray Robinson, and I started at Booker T in 1944, transferred to Langston in 1952. And I had some really good experiences at Booker T Washington School. But it's always been in my heart, you know, because this is where we started. And then I was so glad when they put the McKinney Center here because I didn't want to see the school just destroyed or, you know, and that's my story right now.
Great.
Okay. My name is Margaret Ray Dudley. This is my elder sister. I started this school here, I was 5 years old, and in 44, and we called it the primer. Instead of pre-K or kindergarten, it was primer. And I have some fond memories of going to school here. I remember Miss Brown. Everybody remembers Miss Brown, our first teacher, and this was her room. And her desk was right over there in that corner when I was here. And I graduated from the 8th grade in 52. We went to Langston. I graduated from Langston in 57. Then in 61, I moved to Michigan. I learned my basics here, reading, writing, and arithmetic. He carried me all the way through to a lasting career. And I'm grateful for having my experience first-hand experience at Booker T. That's it.
That's great. Okay.
Elmer, Gillespie. I started same time Nancy and I are close to the same age. She's older than me, by the way. She's 6 days older than me, so I'm really big at that. But I graduated here in 1951, I guess it was, I think, and went to Langston. I remember the teachers that I remember, talking to Margaret Sunday, I can remember Ms. Brown and their uncle, Robert Stewart, and Miss Cheryl. Other than that, I can't remember other teachers other than that. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on that. But that's my story, I guess.
Wow. There's a lot of years in this.
Oh,
Yeah. So, tell me about this classroom. It's I will definitely cry on this school. I always do. I don't know why.
This classroom had 2 tables over here.
Yes.
That was the first grade, as Margaret calls it, the print. Okay. Now I remember one time, we always walked to school, I believe. I don't believe the school bus came up. Did school James Charles? James Charles drove the school bus.
Jonesboro
No, he came up.
No,
Did
we
he
walked
come
to
up?
school. He didn't come to Buzzard Roost. We lived in a place called Buzzard Roost. James, myself, Sue, Nancy and lived up on Depot Street. But I remember one day my daddy, he always drove a little truck, and he drove down to this window here and handed me in the window to Miss Brown. Instead of me coming down the hall, he just handed, because Miss Brown, she's a big woman anyway, he's a big man, so he just handed me right in the window. And those 2 tables over there was the first grade, and the second grade, third grade, and the 4th grade was over against the blackboard, and that was the blackboard, was the green board back in those days. The blackboard was over there. And Miss Brown would start teaching 1st grade, then she'd move to the 2nd grade, then she'd tell the 2nd grade, now do your lessons because I'm coming to the 3rd grade. Then she'd end up with the 4th grade. Then after that it was lunchtime. Then the cafeteria was right adjacent to this room here. And then Miss Silver's. Yeah, it was.
The cafeteria was in the middle, because Miss Brown's room was here, the cafeteria, then the services room, and then the office.
That's before, because everything started out from, this is like someone,
No, this is
right here.
Well, when me and Chuck was here,
Oh,
this is Miss Brown's room.
Okay, well, it's another room here, so that room there.
No, James, this was Miss Brown.
No, I'm talking about there's another room behind us.
Not behind here, was it?
That's the
No, those back steps back there.
Yeah.
Because we used to go out the back door right here and go down and play that field.
Yeah.
And the gymnasium was right here. That's where we played in the wintertime. Most of the time, it was a ball field out here on this end, and a ball field down on the lower end.
And the boys and girls did not play together when I was here.
No,
They didn't play together.
So how did they separate? Like girls over there?
Girls were on this end, boys were on that end. Our toilet was down.
Yeah. Well, I never went to outdoor toilets.
Outdoor.
No, we went outdoor talking.
It was inside.
It went outdoor. When we were going, we didn't have an outdoor toilet.
They didn't have it.
Yeah, we did.
If 44 minutes, that was
Right.
Yeah, 252 it was outside. Yeah.
So was this classroom size the same?
Same size.
So how many students would be?
Well, I did have maybe 5, maybe. In my class, when I was here, it was, let me count. It was 7 of us
Okay.
in our class.
And
So we're talking maybe 5, 6 per class.
Per row.
Yeah, per row for each grade.
okay.
And there was one year in the 3rd grade, there was too many for that one row, and Joseph Price and myself, we shared a seat. He would scoot way over the side, and I would scoot the side of it, and we shared that seat all year long. And once the fourth grade, I believe there was more chairs over there or less people or something, because we didn't have to share a seat in the fourth grade. Now, see, the people from Limestone came to school here too.
Yeah.
Limestone, Chucky, and Telford,
Washington College.
Washington College.
All black kids.
All black kids.
They rode the bus. The kids from Limestone, Washington College, and Telford, and Chucky, they rode the bus up here. Chuck didn't come up here. Chuck did. Oh, okay.
Well, was it Carol Spurgeon?
Carol
Well,
Spurgeon.
They were considered Chucky, weren't they? Because they lived on the side of the Greenlee Road.
They lived right down below James Rawlins.
Yeah.
James Rawlins' house is behind Carol Spurgeon's house.
And he would pick them up.
Yeah, he picked them up, and then he would pick up the kids in Limestone.
Come on out. McKinney Center.
Telford.
And
And
Gillespie.
Pat's were in Telford, wasn't
Yeah.
Pat's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
James
It's on the
but
right.
now,
Yeah.
we walked. We lived on Depot Street. We walked, well, I'll tell you how it happened. 2 people in our classroom, in our group, walked from Hampton Hill, which is 4th Avenue now, okay? Then they picked us up, they picked up our cousin, Billy Bridwell, he lived next door to us. Then, the 3 of us, we all walked to school. I mean, that was 1.5 miles, if it wasn't 2 miles. But we walked and we had fun walking. Yeah, we walked the back road.
And a drop of snow did not close the school. Because we walked to school and little girls didn't wear pants then. They wore knee socks. And we had walked to school. We come down around the railroad track and get up to, I think it's 3rd Avenue. And it was a bank. And somebody had cut us some steps in the bank and we came up the bank. But when we would get to school, snow would be up above our knee socks. And Miss Brown had a line there. And we had a big stove here too. She had a clothesline like that. We took our knee socks off. And she hung them up for us. But, so they would be dry when we got ready to go home.
And the kitchen was next door.
Next door,
And it was a real, not as wide as that table, as well as I recall. And they would line us up in the hall. Once a week, they'd give us cowbell. This was during the war.
I remember him copying.
I
remember Daddy gave it to you.
Sunday,
Yeah.
gave us cowbell.
Now I remember Cottonwood, huh?
Well, that's.
Well, we got it at home. Yeah, I'm saying that. We got it
But
here.
every Friday, we had to take calls and go.
Okay.
And they lined us up. And we come right down to there and they had spoons.
That's use the same stuff.
Miss Brown gave it to us. And she would have 3 spoons in there and she would give every one of us. I guess it's about 15 of us around that year, wasn't it? When she was there. And she would give every one of us call it wrong.
Well, when y'all was in the
Yeah, we was healthy. You know, we walked every morning.
Bobby Shea figured out how to put a paper, made a little paper cup, put it in his mouth.
Oh, so we had to.
He's the one who went up and did it. Everybody knew about it.
Bobby Shea.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
It was nasty.
I love it, it is nasty.
It was better casserole.
you gotta thank him, because he said this, so it was gave to us by the health department.
Yeah.
And tell them how long it had been on the shelf.
You got it.
Then you got this standpoint. If you start to think, we never got no new, what was talking about, new school books here.
Yes.
We always got old school books.
From
Now the
white
other schools got their new school books. So you can figure if they got the new school books, but we got the old cast oil and they got the new.
Yeah, we got the.
Well, we got the new little Bibles. I don't know if they was doing it when y'all were in school or not, because
What?
these people, they used to come once a month When I was having to learn so many Bible verses.
Yeah.
And these people would come every month, and we do our Bible verse, and they'd give us, the little bitty miniature Bibles. We'd always get those.
Is that the Gideons?
Yes.
It had nothing to do with the county part, because we had that same thing when we was in school. Because we went to Spring City in that Methodist camp, or
Camp.
Yeah.
Camp.
you read so many Bible verses, blah, 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 and then
See, we went to
Y'all went to Spring City, we went to Black Mountain, in North Carolina, when you learn so many verses.
Yeah.
And we got to go to that camp.
One year we went to Mountain City up there with the.
Oh, yeah, with the pick beans.
Yeah, we had to leave earlier because the bean pickers was coming in. Yeah.
Now, who are the bean pickers in Mountain City?
They used to come.
Where the Emmer.
Mountain City was a bean capital of the world, they said at one time. They picked more green beans up there.
beans and
Beans
cabbage.
and
Yeah.
cabbage.
You
Yeah.
see, that was the Bush, I think, down in
Newport now.
That was their, yeah.
They had a big farm up there.
Wow.
You was talking about that, cod liver, well, I don't remember getting it.
They probably stopped by the town.
But the library truck used to come out and park in the drop.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
And you could go through that library truck, through the back end, and come out on the front end, and pick out a book. By the time the truck came back the next time, you had to have the book ready so you could turn it back in.
Now, who was that through? Washington County Schools?
That was through, I guess, the school board, right, James?
Yeah, Washington County.
Yeah, Washington County,
Okay.
But we always got the tail end of everything.
Yeah.
yeah, because
I mean,
the girls would make paperback books, they'd take brown paper, because the books were worn out when we got them, most of the time, so they'd take brown paper and make a bag and make them look better than what they did when we got them.
Yeah.
And you can see in the book how many kids had it before you, because you was about the third one down on the line that had it.
Mr. Scott, will you tell us about how y'all had to shovel the coal?
oh, yes,
Yeah.
that where the ramp is coming up, that was where coal struggle, was what we call it back then, a door. And when the county would bring our coal, they would dump it out there between the steps and the scuttle. We would have to put our coal in the basement. It didn't have this shovel in it, my knowledge.
Yeah.
Mine
So
either.
we always put
We was
it in.
in there same years.
Same time.
We always policed our own grounds. We did our own cleanup, really. And I think PTA paid our cook what they could during that era. It wasn't very much, was it? Because some of the older girls would go in and help.
And I was one of them, me and
Yeah,
Joanne.
Yeah.
Me and Joanne, my friend.
But we wasn't furnished a janitor, cook, or anything like
No,
that.
we were not.
Cause Miss Gertrude Shanks was our cook.
Which
Oh,
Cause we always had to go and help her when come lunchtime.
Miss Burgle was our cook.
Okay.
I mean, she was Miss Burgle, and Henry Greenlee, my uncle, he cooked here for a while. Gertrude, Henry, and Miss Burgle, so I can remember.
See, I don't remember.
No, Miss Woodson from Limestone, she cooked here for a
Yes.
while
Oh,
too.
I remember.
They call her sis.
Yeah.
And,
She was
Mildred
before
Pat.
Miss
Mildred Pat.
Mildred Pat.
I think Mildred Pack was the first cook, because I remember.
Yeah, I remember her.
Now, tell me about some of your, like, lunch. What kind of food did you guys have?
Oh, yeah, it was probably better here than we had at home.
A lot of beans.
And slaw.
That was it.
Baked cornbread slaw? Okay. Did you have breakfast here? Or just
No,
lunch?
just
Just
lunch.
lunch.
Just lunch.
Yeah, I think our lunches was pretty good.
And they always have Thanksgiving dinners too, where they sell tickets. And whoever sold them, well, Shirley Clark, she was a little girl down there. She'd sell more tickets than anybody. And everybody would eat down in the, eat down in the gymnasium. Yeah.
And I was out, were you guys ate too?
No, we ate in the
Oh, that's right, the
cafeteria.
cafeteria,
Yeah.
kitchen and cafeteria in the middle word.
Well, when we was there, we had that room, I don't remember anybody being in that room, that little room.
When
That was a
we
cafeteria.
started,
No, it wasn't for us.
Oh, for them, so.
Because when we got it, we had to come back to our desk and eat it.
but when we started school, all 3 rooms had children in them. Cause the principal
I remember.
was the last,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, box room.
and Mrs. Cheryl was our
The
principal
yeah.
during that era. Before her was Professor Kaiser. In other words, if it hadn't been for Professor Kaiser, this school would not have been built during that era. He was the one that instituted this school built. And matter of fact, he, I think, laid quite a few brick himself on this. Vance can tell you more about that, but I think he laid brick on this.
Yeah, Denny said he did. He said that he was a contractor or something. You know, back then you had to have a backup plan. Yeah.
Well,
In the summertime, the school was down. And they didn't pay their teachers while they was out, like they do now. So if you was a teacher, you taught in the winter, the school term, but in the summer, you better have a backup plan or a job to go to. And Daddy said that Mr. Kaiser was
he was a mechanic, he was an electrician, brick mason.
he was good
Yeah.
at all of it, Daddy said. And said he did a lot of work on himself, you know.
But
I guess he had some other people might have come in and helped him, but he did a lot himself.
the county provided the school, the food though, didn't they?
The food for the school.
Yeah, they did.
I don't
No,
know.
because we'd go to Lavender Supermarket, Fred Gillespie, myself, and Alan Patterson. Miss Silver would send us with the grocery list of what they didn't have in that, they had a little storeroom in there.
Yeah, we did.
And always got the number 10 cans, so I think they did come from the county.
Yeah.
But a lot of things we went to Lavender Supermarket got. And we
No.
take Fred Gillespie, we had that 50-pound bags of potatoes to carry back, because he's a big old boy, so he could carry them on the shoulder.
Now, were your teachers local folks, or did they come in from other places?
No, they were like,
And where did they get their education? Were they just,
That's what else.
My attendant went to NI State.
okay.
Yeah. Miss Silvers, she was our aunt, and Mr. Stewart,
Was
the
our-
principal, was our uncle. So we couldn't do anything.
did Miss Brown get a slip?
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to Smith.
So,
And Dr. Stewart went to NI State too.
Yeah, he did.
Now, I don't know what Professor Kaiser, because he was originally from Danwich.
Virginia.
He was somewhere here in Tennessee, but I don't know where he was, had his education. But he was the first principal that Liberty ever did, Professor Kaiser.
Did they have any pictures or anything of our teachers?
yeah, I had
There's some pictures that were.
Just what's in the hallway.
But
Margaret said she had one she's gonna bring.
But I think it's a disgrace that Professor Kaiser, Mr. Kitcher, is not here in
So you can put that in my.
We'll put it up if you bring us one.
See, I have no idea, it's like I was telling someone, maybe somebody in Kingsport
Might have it.
might have it, because when he left here, he went to Kingsport, and he retired at Douglas until he retired or died. So they might have it,
Okay.
I don't know. But I think he should be top of the list, as far as because he was the one that instigated getting this school,
When did he leave? I don't remember him at all.
No, he left, he was
Mr. Kaiser left
he was here with Uncle
maybe the
Lou.
first or second, maybe the second year, third year after this school was built.
Miss Cheryl was the principal when we came here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, was she local?
And she
She
lived in
was.
Austin.
Okay, Marcus too.
And Miss McNeil used to substitute. Miss McNeil used to substitute.
Yeah, Miss McNeil wore a man's watch all the time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. We hated to see her come as a substitute. 'Cause, Miss Brown was a good teacher. Miss McNeil was just strict.
Now we take teacher weeks, but substitute teacher. Sometimes Mrs. Cheryl would not be able to come and teach. So she was saying Elaine, her daughter,
Her daughter.
which was beautiful.
She was
So we always like to play that game in the well.
I don't know this game. You have to share that game, or do you want to know?
You say, it's in the well, and then someone says, how many feet? You tell them. So they've asked you, well, what would it take to get you out? You say, a kiss.
Lunch costs a quarter, please. Lunch was 25 cents. I asked the student, I couldn't remember if it was 25 or 30, but it was 25.
Was that a week?
No, per day.
Okay.
And Miss Silver would have me and somebody else help her count the lunch money. Then she'd always make out the bank statement, and we'd take the money to the bank and deposit it. And then we would go over to Lavender's if we had to pick up groceries that day and bring groceries back as we came back, And sometimes she had this big green pad on her desk, so we'd slip 50 cents under there. And then when she wasn't looking, we'd take that 50 cents and put it in the bank, because we knew we couldn't be off on account,
You remember the Mickey Roast?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was this?
Well, have a big bonfire here in the field, and we would cut sticks. And put the hot dogs on them and put them in the fire. And I forget, Steve might be sure. I know most of I didn't have anything, but she would give you, you'd end up getting a hot dog, and he'd break your heart when you burn and fill it with fire.
That was on Friday, wasn't it? Yeah, on Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah. So tell us about your most fondest memory of this school. Each one of you guys. I know you have a different one.
I like commencement. It's the end of the school year, and you'd see the kids from Limestone's parents that you didn't see through the year. They would tell you what their parents did and everything like that. You kind of imagine what they looked like to you, but then at commencement time you would see them. And then you too, like I said, you knew that was the end of the school year. And they had some big curtains, big velvet curtains out here that had Booker T. Washington across the top of them. We'd like to get those curtains to swing out on you. There we go, strong curtains, but the principal better not catch you swinging on the curtains, because it would eventually turn up, I guess. That was one of the best memories I had.
What did commencement look like? Did everybody put on cap and gown?
No, there was a play. There was a play.
You got new clothes.
And then soon would start to play about
We dress up.
2 or 3 months before school was out. Everybody had a part in the play, and you had to do your, it was just like a little story out on the stage, and everybody had a part in the play.
What was the name of that play?
Well, there's different plays every year. I remember name of one was Schools Out in Taylor Hall was one of the plays that they had. And I don't know where she'd get those plays from, but
Miss Brown had it. She used to work with Betty Brown. We was here.
yeah.
Miss Brown.
She played
She played piano.
Well, I have to tell you this. She gave me a part that had singing in it. I don't sing. I told her that. But she was down playing the piano. And I was trying to sing. And my daddy told me that Miss Brown could play 2 notes, and I sung 2 notes. 2 notes, and I sung the 2 notes. But I can't sing. I don't know why she gave me that part. But she did.
I know she always played with Little Brown Church in
Oh,
Wildwood.
yeah.
We sang that every morning.
Which one is it?
Little Brown Church in Wildwood. That's what
But
we
she
always
didn't
sang.
sing this, but we sang
Every
this.
morning.
And the tunes were the same.
Yes.
And I know another thing, we used to sing Dixie. We used to sing a song Dixie. I wish I wasn't Dixie. Way away in Dixieland, we sung it. We didn't sing it every morning.
But we used to sing that. The reason was bump.
No, we just sung it in the classroom.
We
We said the pledge of allegiance every morning. We
Every
wanted
day.
it sometimes we sing this.
Pledge of allegiance.
Yeah.
Every day.
Did you guys start with a prayer in class? Prayer like
Well, we
We
did.
didn't say the Lord's Prayer. so-
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did prayer.
Yeah.
Every morning, we did that and pledge of allegiance.
Gotcha, yeah. What other fond memories? Besides
Well,
looking in that
Mr.
back
I
door.
tell you, look at you, growing up, I guess we just one big family.
Yeah.
Just, you know, if you did something wrong at school and his parents saw we do something wrong, oh well, everybody knew it before we got to the house. So I guess it's just because we were just one big family.
One big family.
Because we all came from around the neighborhood.
Miss Cheryl, which was the principal to my era, she, like on Friday, she'd send us to the store to get certain things. And sometimes she'd have like a bubble gum contest. See who could blow the biggest bubble. Well, Miss Cheryl couldn't blow the biggest. Go in. You could. You could put one out. Then we have in March we have like a kite flying contest. See who can put the kite the first.
To put your what first?
Kite.
Oh, okay.
Then in the wintertime, when it'd be your uncle, I guess, Mr. John. He had a place down where he lived along the creek where he killed hogs. Well, Mrs. Cheryl would send the older boys down to get her some chitlins. So we would have to get down the creek and clean them and bring them back to her. So, you know, that was fun. Yes. So, I think that Booker T really is the foundation of all of us.
Yeah, we got our basics here.
Of all of us. And if it hadn't been for our parents getting behind the teachers here, because they had a working PTA, because our PTA, what few they had was a working PTA.
My mother was a president.
When our furnace went out, the county would not replace it. So the PTA got together and did something, but anyhow, then we wound up with stoves. We didn't did anything about this. We just maintained and went right on.
Yeah.
I remember something rather negative. I remember something rather, I guess you would call it negative. We had to put coal in the furnace down in the hole in down there. And unfortunately, somebody would pee on the coal.
Oh no.
I remember Mickey Ripple would do that. And they turned out the whole school because it came right up to the
Came up to the fence.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that's a nice one, you know. We'd encourage me to go down and pee on the furnace. So
But we used to have two young men that went to school here. And these kids lived down in Limestone, the stories.
Yeah.
Of course, they would bring their lunch to school. And we had what they called clatter boxes in the window. So they put their lunch up in the clatter box. But these two young men would steal their lunch. So they would go to Mrs. Cheryl, the principal, and tell her. So she said, well, tomorrow you bring your lunch, but before you leave, fill it full of cayenne pepper. And she said, I won't pay for your lunch, you know. So they did. Those two boys stole their lunch. At the end of stealing the lunch.
any fights down here among the
Huh?
students?
No.
Do you
Fight.
recall any fights?
Yeah.
I do. William Rollins and Starling, they got in a fight one
Oh,
day.
well,
The
They were 8th grade students, you know,
I wasn't here.
yeah.
I wasn't here at that time.
When Miss Cheryl was here, she ended it. Miss Cheryl had a paddle, and it was the back of a wooden chair, about that way. You know how a chair curve? Well, if she wasn't going to give you a real good one, she would leave her suit coat jacket on. But if she's going to give you a good one, she'd take her coat off, hang her over the back of her chair, and send you to the office. When you went in the office, you get a hold of the desk.
Oh no.
And
Abuse.
she set you on fire.
Abuse.
That's more like a spelling. We got spelling every Friday. We had spelling tests every Friday. You better hope you got all 15 words right. Because every word that you missed, you got to hear before. And you had to go outside and get the switches. Y'all know what switches are.
Yeah.
But it was a row of edges right there, and you got the switches out there.
You platted them together. So every word that you missed, it's a lick you got. Every Friday.
And some of the boys from Limestone got 15 words, they get 15 licks.
The next Friday you do all your spelling.
See, I try to tell my kids it could be worse.
But, you know, parents today, I think, they expect too much out of a teacher and not doing enough at home. When we were growing up, our parents did their job at home, and then when we went to school, they expect the teachers to do their job. If we did something we shouldn't do at school, the teacher would write a note, give it to you, you take it home. And then Miss Cheryl, she drove a black Chevy. A lot of times, we'd be going home and turn around and she'd be following. Because she was your protector from here to there. And if you misbehave, then you was in trouble. So I think parents has a lot, they're not doing their job today, they're not doing their job.
I was gonna ask if you think parents supported teachers more back then than it seems they do today.
Yeah.
I think so.
They weren't as busy as they are now. That has a lot, you know, to do with it. Because parents work now, mother and father, you know.
Well, they did then.
Or
Parents worked then.
mama didn't. Mama didn't.
She didn't. Well, both my parents worked. But from Jackson Store, which was right down over the hill, from there to where her parents, grandfather, or great-grandfather, Mr. Russell, grandfather, lived, you better not do anything in that space. Because they had the right to tend to you, and then when mom and daddy came, then they would tend to you again. So we had respect for ourselves, thus those people. Kids today don't know what respect is. They don't have respect for their parents, they don't have respect for themselves, they don't definitely have respect for their teacher.
Then
It's out there.
the teachers in our day, they dressed appropriately, you know. They wore stockings, shoes, suits, or a decent dress. Now they come in jeans and anything, you know, just like the kids. So it's hard to respect somebody who
Well,
dresses like
no,
you.
but still, I think the parents, I still say that all children that are misbehaving in the classroom or school, it begins at home. The first word that you heard when you was a baby was at home. The first thing you seen when you was a baby was at home. Wasn't that bad? It was at home. Now, you mimic what you see.
That's true.
And that's what kids
Today.
do. They mimic what they see. They mimic what they. All right, that was a commercial on television where this man had this Christmas tree in the back of his car, what's called Suburban. He took it out and he says, use the F word. What a whack was holding the baby. I think the kid was about maybe old enough to say words. And the kids say the same words your dad said. The F word.
Yeah.
So you see, then we expect the teacher to take care and do what they have to do at school. No, it's the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault.
Chuck and Sue, I'm curious, what was your experience transferring into the white schools from going here?
Since I was the first one, it was 5 of us that went to Jonesboro in '64. And we already knew everybody at Jonesboro because they were all neighborhood kids, so it really wasn't no different.
But none of the teachers went over there.
The Silvers went there.
She went there
after
after 65,
Yeah.
but 5 of us went before
Okay.
integration went in.
Well,
No, I back it up. My brother and Janice Cash, Howard Cash, they went in 62, I believe. So we went, my dad said we're going to 64, so.
Well, now my son went the first year, but they integrated.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause-
brother
yeah.
and Tim, yeah. But brother and Janice went the year before,
First year.
in
But
62 before.
on that same note,
So I didn't see the difference.
we could have integrated schools 20 years before, because we all got along,
Yeah.
you know.
And you know what? People just couldn't, they couldn't imagine that we lived in a neighborhood growing up with white kids. Because I lived away from here. They just couldn't, because they lived in a group of black folks. Everybody was black. But here, our neighbors were white. We played with them. But they couldn't believe that.
I was nice for the work, and my thing, I always like to talk about East Tennessee, because this is my home. And I love East Tennessee. And I tell them that where I'm from, there was no such thing as colored this and white this. We had a water fountain right in front of the courthouse
But you knew which one to drink.
that everybody drank from.
No.
No, it wasn't. It was a sign on that.
We
There
knew
was a sign on
which
the wall.
one to drink from.
Huh?
We knew which one to drink from.
I could drink from either side.
Where you sound like
Well,
a
you
husband.
just
We
did
did.
it. In 1965, I started my junior year at Langston. About 2 weeks into it, Sue's dad, my dad, had gone to William Hunt, who was the superintendent of the schools, and talked to him. He said he never had been approached about integrating the schools before. But he'd only been the superintendent for a couple of years.
I
or
think I
maybe
said-
years. Yeah.
Because Daddy Webby said, my son's starting school, am I gonna have a problem? And the principal said no. So,
Well, 2 weeks into the school year, started in Langston. So that Monday, we went to Jonesboro High School. Earl Hemley was the principal. He met us at the cafeteria, took us in, and we all got registered. Miss Rowland was the secretary. Got all of our classes done. No problems at Jonesboro High School. I think I was treated better at Jonesboro High School than I was at Langston High School, which was an all-black high school, and I was classified as a country boy.
Yeah.
That's the way they classified me. And then my daddy come and pick me up at Langston. I said, you pick me up down the corner. Because I don't want these Johnson City kids seeing me get in a pickup truck. Because I know the next day I'm going to hear about it. So like I say, there was no problem I thought at Jonesboro High School. I didn't have any problems. I don't think Sue did. And
No, because it was
Do you
my
remember
sister.
riding the bus from Jonesboro to Johnson City?
no city bus, yeah.
City bus, we had to sit in the back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about that, I'm not talking about the bus, I'm talking about.
But that's integration, the water fountains too.
But wait a minute, our water fountain here in Jonesboro, right in front of the courthouse, did not have no sign, no sign, no way. Now, the bathroom had no signs. It's a black and white, you same bathroom. Now, we could go anywhere we wanted to, in any store we wanted to, at any given time.
That's true.
Now, when I was growing up, there was people, even some of black people I did not acquaint myself with, because the difference in what they believed in and what I believed in was totally different. I didn't believe in using that slang talk. A lot of them did, and that wasn't me. Because I had respect for you, I have respect for me. Mostly I have respect for me. So, unless a person has no pride, no respect, you're not going to respect anyone else.
That's true.
And so, for the most part, when I went to Johnson City, and I played ball up there with Jack Ross Boys Club, those black kids up there was totally different from me. They have no respect for themselves. They had no respect for the rights of others. It was all about them. Well, that didn't bother me, because I knew what I was, I knew who I was, and how I was brought up. So when I said that Jonesboro is the best part of Tennessee, it is, because we had a water that everybody could drink from. Johnson City was integrated, water fountain, bathroom. Kingsport was integrated, bathroom, water fountain.
When? What year? No, there was, in a bus station in Johnson City, you could not go, it was separated.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
Trailways bus
That's
station.
what we're separated.
Black and white.
Yeah.
Here in Jonesboro, it wasn't.
Well, there was no bus station there.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? You know, first off, I'll say this. A lot of times we do things to hurt ourselves
Oh, we know, yeah.
instead of helping ourselves. Now, I believe in the rights of anybody, don't care who you are, where you come from, provided that you have respect for me and respect for yourself. Now, what I was saying was that Jonesboro did not have a segregated water fountain. No segregated bathroom. Now, regardless about the bus, that was owned by a man in Johnson City.
Yeah, but there were restaurants in Jonesboro we couldn't go in and
Yeah,
sit
we
down.
could- we could-
No, we couldn't. The only restaurant in town that you could go in and sit down was the Green Corner.
Oh, I went in one that used to be there.
Could you go in Fred Hilbert's and sit down at the counter?
I have.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you couldn't. Me and Arjun and Sissy, when they passed the civil rights law, we went there and sat down. Fred Hilbert told us we had to leave, even though they had passed that law.
I have been in there and sat down.
I never could.
So it sounds like, excuse me, I'm thinking about Jonesboro. We were too young to go over to Jonesboro at the courthouse.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility, that you could use it, but I don't recall.
All right. Number one, y'all live on Depot Street. I live here on Spring Street.
Right.
At 9 years old, maybe 10, I was working at Jackson's store.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday, he would give me his bank book. I would run from his store to Bank and Trust, give that lady his bank book. on Sunday, we would go by the water fountain, we drank water. We'd go to town, we'd drink water. We'd go downtown, we'd sit down anywhere we wanted to. We didn't have no problem because we had respect for ourselves
Yeah.
and respect for those people. Now, when you have a difference in people, that's because you feel like, or they feel like that they are better than you.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's where the swell comes.
But then too, my granddaddy was a janitor at Jonesboro Courthouse for 100 years. But I don't ever remember going down there. I don't.
I do, I remember going down that old basement.
Oh, no.
Cause Dad was working out at the post office. They was down the way, part of that big furnace, and Munn Johnson, and they'd all sit around and tell those stories. You know, I was just a young boy, so I just sit there and listen to their stories.
Yeah, but anyway, I
This is
apologize, we were too young to
Yeah.
go down there. And probably granddaddy would let us down.
Well, I don't think there's any women in it, it's just on the internet, they tell stories.
Tell stories.
Were there black establishments here, like a black grocery store, a black bank?
No.
At one time, my daddy told me that downtown Jonesboro had black owners. They had a black barber shop, they had where they have delivered on horses and things, what was it?
Liver station.
Delivery station. They had that. One had a grocery store. He said it was about at least 6 to 8 people, black people that had business in Jonesboro town. It wasn't on the outside of it, it was downtown where town is now. And so it did, I don't know when it transferred over to, white merchants or thing, but I know that he told us that. And I wish we had took a recording of it because he told us all these, me and my other sister, this sister was living in Michigan. But we would sit down and talk, and we would ask him questions, and that's what he told us at one time. It was at least 6 or 8 black businesses in the town of Jonesboro, not outside of Jonesboro. And I don't know what year it was because my daddy was 79 when he died.
Yeah.
And so that's what he was telling us.
Is it pretty safe to say though that that was not going on in Johnson City? Like you probably did not have the same black-owned couple of businesses, or you think Jonesboro was just different?
Jonesboro is always different.
They had a.
Well, they had a
station.
school for
They
freed
did.
slaves, right? The Warner Institute.
The what?
The
That's
Warner
heard.
You talking about going up the
The
hill?
graveyard.
Whose graveyard is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Now,
It
my
was
mother
a
was
school.
still there.
Mr. Warner.
Oh, your mother did?
My mother went there too.
Okay.
Warner.
Yeah.
Warner school. Yeah.
Cause Langston started at 7th grade, or,
No, Langston started in 9th grade.
okay.
For us.
7th grade, they had 7th grade there for kids raised in Johnson City.
That 7th grade was for kids that was already in Johnson City.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we had to go through the 8th grade and then we went to the 9th grade. Yeah.
It sounds so different from where my mom family's in Morristown. And you're right, Jonesboro is a very different kind of a place because my mom lived in black communities and would have to walk to school and would walk past white communities to get to her black school. And she and her brothers, there were at the time, I think she had 2 older brothers that walked together. She said they would have to deal with all the name calling and everything as they passed by these white
See,
communities.
that's why we didn't have that problem.
Exactly.
When the 5 of us started, left here and went to Jonesboro High, we never had that problem at all. Never.
We had played with these boys and girls all our lives, we just couldn't go to school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And your parents and their parents, fine, not a problem. Yeah. That's so very different.
Is that the advantage of a small town?
Yeah.
I don't know, have you guys heard of other communities like that? This is the first, I've heard this before that everybody got along here. But this is the first place that I've ever heard that you guys were like this.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even like walking stride to stride. It's okay for you to but y'all were like this. Morristown, I've never heard. In anything I've ever heard about segregation and then integration, this is the only place where I've heard we didn't have any problem.
They always said we were strange.
Attention was more country city.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure it happened, it's just that we never experienced it. I mean, it might, but
and you're right about that.
You know, the most
country
places,
city, Johnson City. There was a tension within the black community.
You also had a black alderman in '64, right?
yeah, Kevin McKinney, well, Ernest McKinney.
Yeah, and I think you've had a person of color on all the board and aldermen since then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I think my brother, the one who retired out of service, was the first black policeman in Jonesboro. But they didn't record it, hadn't recorded it. They recorded someone else being the first, but he wasn't. My brother was the first black policeman. June. He was the first.
Well, Dad was a policeman, I got a plaque for back in the car.
That was after June.
Was that June?
that was back when everybody was carrying guns and.
But you know where I experienced more segregation than anything was in the military. It was more segregated than anything. Now, I was in the Navy and I was on ships. Black people on the mess deck said eat together, and white people eat together. Well, where we came from, this little town, I never seen that. You know, it was different for me because I always intermingled with everybody. It was just different.
When I moved to Michigan,
During the time of integration or segregation,
all
me and my
blacks
brother.
lived together. The blacks lived on one side of the main street, the whites lived on the other one. Until the housing bill. Then you could live wherever you wanted to live.
And did you work with white folks?
I worked with them, and I worked with one nurse that lived what they call the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. She had never seen a black person till she came to Flint, Michigan, and went to school, nursing school. This is a truth.
I mean, again, that's so
And
hard
this
to
was in the
believe.
60s,
Well, where was she
in the
from?
early 60s.
Where was she from?
Upper Peninsula in Michigan. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
That's
close to Canada.
Yeah.
That's too close to Canada.
Right? It is, it's very different than, I mean, from there to here.
And the slums. I've never seen a slum area till I moved to Michigan. Because we didn't have it. Here are in Johnson City. Slums.
Okay.
Yeah, I never seen them.
So we gotta do final thoughts.
Yes, we do, wow.
It's too good to believe it.
But now, I can remember 3 restaurants in Jonesboro: Green Corner, Rush's,
Great.
and
Integration.
Buddy Grecia's. And there was one called TikTok. You remember it's right there where John Floyd had a jewelry store?
Yeah,
It was about 2 doors down.
I remember.
All of those places, except for the Green Corner, if you ordered something to eat, you had to get it to go.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't sit. Fred Hilbert would ask you knew not to sit down at Fred Hilbert's soda bar there. You just knew better.
That's the point. You knew where you could go
Yeah.
and where you could be accepted.
Exactly.
And that's where you win. You know, so if you know Fred Hilbert was gonna tell you, don't sit down at my counter. If you want ice cream cone, cause they sold ice cream. You want ice cream cone, you go up to the Green Corner or someplace where you know you can get it. So I think that's we didn't have so much conflict because we knew who would accept us and who wouldn't. And so that's who we deal with. Now we live on the street we lived when we first moved up there. We was the only black on that street. We had white on the other side. Now, as we lived there, it was people that had built, like Sue, they built up there, and then we had an aunt that built up there. But anyway, we was, rest of them around us, and when we went to school, I remember, it was on the corner, they had a little girl that we played with. And so when we went to school, that morning, they had to tell us that we was going to different schools. And that, you talk about crying. We cried because we were going to a different school, because we played together, we've been together for years, and all of a sudden they separate us. So that's one of the things that I can remember about the not being able to do things with your friends, even though they're different colors. But it's a lot of things that we could do in Jonesboro that nobody would say anything about, you know, because we knew where we could go.
You everybody.
Yeah, we knew it. Yeah, we knew. I used to know everybody that lived in Jonesboro and outside of Jonesboro by name. And it's going so fast now. You see strangers, you know, people are well. They come from
It's gotten so crowded around here, a black person won't even give you the head nod anymore. And I'm like, we don't have that many of us here where it's not gonna
You go to the
give you a
grocery
head
store
nod.
and you say, well, who is that? She looks like somebody.
Yes.
You know, and then you say, my name's Nancy Robinson, and most of the time I invite them to our church, Bethel Christian Church. And I say, you remind me of somebody, and they say, so-and-so is my name, is my mother. But you know, you don't know the children.
No, that's with me, I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
But, now, where I live now, we're the only black couple there. Everybody else is white. It's a big apartment complex. I don't know what the deal is on that.
That's the way it was when we come up here.
Things have changed.
Yeah, we knew exactly where we could go. And we knew exactly, and talking about the school, and you're all going to school. When we went to Langston, they were gonna charge us $240 a piece to go back and forth to Langston. And my dad went over to the superintendent's office, because that was when both of us were going at the same time. And he went in there and he told them that Monday morning I'll be sending my daughters to Jonesboro High School. Now the high school was up on the hill then. And he said, I'm going to send them to, they be going to high school. They said, you can't do that. He said, will they be going, or are you going to pay for them? And they paid for everybody that went to, son and everybody that had to go to Langston. The Washington County School paid for us to go to Langston. To keep us from going to the high school, that we could walk in 5 minutes. That's where the high school was. And our house was there. It was on Main Street, you know.
Academy Hills.
Yeah, Academy Hills. Yeah.
Right on Main Street.
Yeah.
Coming up.
So,
That big 2-story building right there. That was it.
Well, I don't want to end this, but I know Brittany's got to go get her children from school.
okay.
So maybe if everybody, if anyone has like a final thought you want to say, if not, that's okay, and then we'll just conclude, and maybe we can do this again sometime. Yeah?
Well, I've got a final thought, you know. Had 3 policemen in Jonesboro when we was growing up. One was Scott Bonds, he was always on day shift. Jim Shaw was second shift, and Hunt Keys was third shift. Hunt Keys was blind in one eye, and he was crippled. Remember that? He sat on the campus, a pad in a police car to boost him up, you know. And we had no trouble out of any of the policemen except for Scott Bonds. Now he was just a mean old man, because he'd catch us on the sidewalk riding bicycles, which we knew we shouldn't do, but he wouldn't call you nasty names, you know, or threaten to take your bike if he caught you on the sidewalk. And that's the only problem I can ever remember having in this little town was him. You know? And I don't know if he's a mean old man or just a disciplinarian. I don't know, but I know he treated the white kids different.
I know he's just a mean old man.
Yeah, he ain't no man. But his wife was the head cook at Jonesboro High School, and she treated us like kings. know, she was just a good woman. He was just a mean old man.
Well, you folks are treasures.
Yeah.
Just incredible treasures for this area. And I am so glad and thankful that you
This is
guys
great.
are fabulous. And I'm gonna try to find these principals in a picture so we can get them in here. Yeah, most definitely. I'd love to have you guys back again. I would love to have you guys back. And if you could think of a childhood friend to bring with you, especially you're the little white girl that you were friends with, if she's still around, I'd love to have a conversation with you and a childhood friend. That'd be fabulous.
So may I ask, what are you gonna do with all this?
We can't tell you.
We're gonna be on 60 Minutes.
Knowing this group, you could be on YouTube.
Yes!
They don't play.
God will tell you what
Thank
to
you.
do.
Bye,
They
Brittany.
don't play there.
Yeah, this will become a podcast, and it will be on YouTube and the McKinney Center website. But this is an amazing story, and honestly, I can see this going more than just for what we do.
Well,
Amazing.
Martha here, some of you met Martha. She's gonna work on creating a tour of the building, so she might contact you individually to get more information, if that's okay. And if you want me to send you the link to the YouTube video, make sure you leave an email address with Martha that I can send it to. Even if it's not you, maybe your daughter, so you can watch it with her. Yeah. So,
Perfect.
yeah, thank you
This
so
is
much.
great.
Thank